There are certain conditions that we must fulfill in order for our salat to be accepted. By fulfilling these standards and performing our prayer based on certain standards, there is no doubt in our minds as to whether or not we are doing our prayers correctly. Let us all pray together as our Prophet taught us. There are essentials for my prayer to be accepted both during and outside the prayer. Before we start the prayer, we make preparations for the prayer by fulfilling the obligatory acts. Firstly, salah is an act of worship with certain allocated times. When the set time to pray has come, it is performed. Our body must also be clean for the prayer, which leads to the process of wudu or ablution. Next, we must dress appropriately for prayer. We make sure that the place where we pray and the clothes we pray with are clean. We must face towards the Kaaba while praying. And finally, we declare our intention to begin the prayer. After fulfilling the obligatory actions before praying and making our intention, we start the prayer. The religious duties that we have to fulfill in prayer are: number 1, takbir, to say Allahu Akbar. Number 2, qiyam, which is to stand. Number 3, qiraat, which is to recite surahs from the Holy Quran. Number 4, ruku, which is to bend down. Number 5, sujud, which is prostration. And number 6, the final sitting. One of the obligatory acts of prayer is wudu, or ablution. The musts of wudu are to wash the face, to wash the hands together with the elbows, to wipe 1/4 of the head, to wash the feet together, including the heels, once. So, what should we pay attention to in order to make wudu like our Prophet? Number 1, in order to make wudu like our Prophet, we must first start with Bismillah and say the Basmalah. Number 2, we have to make an intention to make the wudu. Number 3, we should draw water into our mouth and nose and wash them. Our Prophet used to use a miswak, but we can also use a toothbrush. Number 4, we then wash our face up to our hairline. Number 5, we wash our arms, making sure to start with our right arm and wetting our arms up to and including our elbows. Number 6, we should wipe 1/3 of the head with wet hands. Number 7, we should wipe our neck and ears by wetting our hands. Number 8, we should wash the feet starting from the toes. Number 9, we must wash the places we wash 3 times and always begin with our right limbs. And number 10, we must follow the correct sequence. All these are sunnahs of wudu. In cases where we cannot reach water, when we are sick and cannot use water, when there is only enough water to drink, there is a convenience that Allah offers us for ablution. This is called tayammum. Sand or earth can be used for tayammum. First of all, we have to make an intention as we do in wudu. We then rub our hands on the sand or soil. We then wipe our face with our hands. We rub our hands on a clean surface again and start with the right arm and wipe both our arms with our hands. Now that we are as if we have made wudu, we can pray and touch the Quran. There is no specific duration for wudu, but there are situations that break or nullify your wudu. In these cases, we have to perform ablution again. Number 1, anything that comes out of our private areas. Number 2, any unnatural discharge from our body. Fun fact, snot does not invalidate your wudu. Number 3, vomit overflowing from our mouth. Number 4, losing consciousness. Number 5, laughing loudly while praying. Number 6, losing your sanity. And number 7, prolonged fainting. There is a certain time for each prayer, and each prayer has a special number of rakahs. So, how would one perform a 2-rakah prayer? If all the obligatory actions prior to prayers are complete, we can start praying. We intend to face the Qibla and say, I intend to perform the obligatory morning prayer for the sake of Allah. We take our first step by saying takbir, Allahu Akbar. While standing, we read Subhanaka, Basmala and Fatiha, in that order respectively. Next, we read any surah from the Holy Quran. After we have finished our reading, we bow down to ruku and say Subhan Rabbiyal Azim 3 times. We say Sami Allahu liman hamida as we stand up from ruku. After saying Rabbana wa lakal hamd, we go down to the most special part of the prayer, prostration, by saying Allahu Akbar. In the prostration position, we say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la 3 times, and we get into the sitting position by saying Allahu Akbar. Then we go to prostration by saying Allahu Akbar again. We say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la 3 times and get up with takbir once more. This is considered the first rak'ah of our prayer. At the beginning of the second rak'ah, we continue in the same way without reciting Subhanaka. After the prostration of the second rak'ah, we take a sitting position. In the sitting position, men and women sit separately. In order to finish the prayer, we recite Tahiyyat, Salih, Barik and Rabbana prayers. We finish the 2 rak'ah prayer by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to our right side, and then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to our left. Something very important to keep in mind is that when we pray, we disconnect from all other work that we do. We should avoid actions that will break the prayer. Anything that invalidates the ablution also invalidates the prayer. Talking in prayer, laughing in prayer, eating and drinking in prayer, turning away from the Qibla or to abandon one of the obligatory prayers also invalidates the prayer. In order for the prayers we perform to receive full points, we must fulfill the conditions set for us. Everything we do before we start the prayer prepares us to stand in the presence of Allah, and we feel that we care about our worship, that we are worthy. It enables us to be in sync with all Muslims by acting with decency in the presence of Allah in the obligatory prayers that we follow. May Allah accept all our prayers.